It's happening. The backlash against all of us is growing.
Yeah.
And so I've always said since day one, like, Gays Against Groomers' mission is first and foremost to save these kids, protect the kids. But we also are here to help ourselves and save ourselves because the backlash against us is growing. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why. But people are assuming that all of us are on board with this. And that's why, you know, Gays Against Groomers is so important for many reasons. And that is a main one. We're worried about that. Just achieved our equal rights, which was a just fight. We fought for that. We got it in 2015 nationally, you know, federally. And as far as I'm concerned, we should have gone home and packed it up. But not even a decade later, now we're here and you know, we're losing our good standing in society because of these predators and pedophiles and disgusting people. And I want to say it's also, you know, these industries, every major industry in this country is pushing it as well. It's not just people, you know, there's like a fringe minority in our community that are disgusting and actually are on board with this. But you look, it's the medical industry, it's the education system, it's the White House, it's the media, it's corporations, it's everything is pushing it, but they're using us to do it. So we're being, you know, we're all being lumped in with it. So I had to draw a big red line and I was like, no way. I'm not going to let this continue.
That's what got me to start speaking up about it too. You know, I started recognizing that, like, because, like, you know, with the where I stand, you know, I'm exposed to people on all parts of the spectrum politically, from the far left to the far right. And I started noticing the backlash starting to boil, right? Like, I started hearing people who 3 or 4 years ago did not say anything about gay people starting to, like, have biases against the gay community. And that's what started to get me to speak up about it. And that's why I started saying things like, hey, you guys in the gay community better wake up, because the backlash is going to come and swing for you guys when it's not you guys. And so I think it's great that I think it's great that you stepped up and did this.
You know, a lot of people can see they can differentiate, but a lot of people don't. You know, they just don't think that much about it. They just see rainbow plastered everywhere going after kids, and they're like, so, you know, it's hard to even blame people that for starting to think more negatively about us, just because that's all you see.
Yeah,
that's all you see.
You see the rainbow shoved in your face everywhere you go, and then every time there isn't a quote unquote rainbow event, it's not like it was 10 years ago where gay people are walking down the street arm in arm with straight people saying, hey, we just want to be treated equal. Now it's people in BDSM gear or this fetish gear walking down the street with kids with their dicks hanging out. Like, this it's gotten insane,
You know, we got to talk about the parents too.
Yeah.
Like, why are parents, I try and tell them, like, please, this is not what you think it is anymore. You know,
but they're virtue signaling. Like, they take their kids to these events because they think that's how they show their support for the gay community. But, like, we don't want anything to do with that because it is such a fringe minority of the gay community. But I think most people are like me and Jaimee here. Like, even whenever I heard about Gays Against Groomers, because my mom told me about Gays Against Groomers, and I was like, I don't want to be associated with a bunch of gay people. Like, like, I am gay people, but I'm like, no. And then I looked and I was like, oh, other people like me actually exist.
Like, normal people that are actually also gay.
Yes.
Right.
Like I didn't know that they were out there.
Identity of the world.
Right. I was like, I'm not part of this. Like I might be who I am, but, like, I'm not associated with that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's so many of us, which is why our voices are so necessary.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, dude. It's a big deal what you guys are doing.
We're trying. They're pushing back very hard. They don't
weird.
like us very much.
Yeah, but we have to look at the pushback and be honest as a society. Like, why would a group of gay people who say, hey, we don't want children to be exposed to chemicals that are preventing them from going through puberty or having their genitalia mutilated or amputated, which cannot be fixed, or groomed by grown men dressed as women, why would anybody push back against that unless they were part of that?
Exactly the point.
Yeah.
It's 100%. Like a self-admission. The only people that are against us, it's like, why are you telling on yourself? Like, I've never seen so many people openly out themselves as groomers and pedophiles and perverts. You know, we have this special skill of just making them expose themselves.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and all these people are the ones who started saying groomer is now an anti-LGBTQ slur.
Hell no.
Because we started calling them groomers and, like, well, you're slurring against gay people. No, you're exposing yourself. if you think that that's a slur.
I think it's actually really offensive that people say that groomer is an anti-LGBTQ slur, because they're basically saying that all of us are on board with this, you know, like that going after children is somehow part of being like gay.
Somehow synonymous with the LGBTQ
community.
And
it's like, whoa, I never consented to any of this. None of us did, you know, like, and it's really funny, you know, the fact that they call us, if you go to our Wikipedia page, it's really insane. They call us an anti-LGBT far right, you know, hate group, essentially hate organization. And it just goes to show that's literally the only line of attack that they have, just name calling. And it doesn't even make sense. We're literally all gay, and we have multiple trans members as well.
Isn't it interesting how anybody that's associated with the right, it's automatically a hate group?
We're not even right wing though. That's the thing.
I know, but like think about that. And then also 100%. Think about like how you don't hear them ever talk about left wing hate groups. Right.
Antifa,
which are legitimately the most hateful people on the planet. Okay.
Well, it's up and down. Up is down, down is up.
Bro, the thing is, the left is not the left of 10 to 15 years ago, like people think. It's gone to full communist, and they have a number of hate organizations on that side, and everything on the other side that's not with that is labeled as hate, right? Like if you're not with that, you're hateful, or you're a bigot, or you're you're some sort of immoral subhuman parasite. I'm sure there's people out cross-dressing and all that. That's what it used to be called. And
existed for years.
That's existed for thousands of years, bro. And actually, people have never really had a problem with it. Like it's been accepted in culture for long. Maybe you don't. Maybe you get some weird looks, but bro, you're 6'7", 240 pounds. You're gonna get some weird looks, bro. All right, let's be real. You're walking around with a wig and some high heels. You're fucking look like LeBron James. Like this shit's you're gonna get some looks. All right, but the reality is there wasn't like hate. It was now, because we have grown men who are dressing as women and who are talking about the normalization of pedophilia and the grooming of children. Now it's creating this, and by the way, appropriate discernment and sometimes hate against these people.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And dude, it's appropriate. It's an appropriate response.
Well,
we have to fucking protect these children. These children are little bitty innocent creatures that are being preyed upon under the guise of some diversity or some sort of feeling that the adult has, right? Like I'm talking about my sexuality and what I like to do to a fucking 3-year-old, bro.
Right, yeah.
Like this is absurd shit, and it's inappropriate any way you slice it, by any way, shape, or form. You could call it whatever you want. You could call it what they call it. You could call it, whatever. But the truth of the matter is that this shit does not have a place in society, not in a functioning society.
No, absolutely not. And especially not near children. Like it was never an issue, like you said, until they started wanting to put it in curriculums and educate children about you can be whatever you want to be. You can be a different gender. You can be a they person. Like it was never an issue until they started bringing it to children. And now they're creating a dangerous situation for not just the children, they're endangering themselves, and then they're endangering the entire LGBTQ community, because a lot of people think that we are guilty by association when we're not. We want nothing to do with those people, which is why we have to fight so hard against it. That's why we have to exist in the first place in the fashion that we do with gays against groomers.
Well, and that's the point. Like the history in general, because pedophilia is not a new thing. And they've tried to normalize pedophilia multiple points through history, okay? There's things we can look back to, like the Weimar Republic in 1930s Germany, where they were trying to normalize pedophilia, and the backlash response went against the whole gay culture there, okay? So, like, we have to be able to identify and discern what's actually going on, who the actual guilty parties are, and for that to happen, people like you guys and other gay people have to stand up and say, no, that is not what we are with. And the fact that people would stand up against it in any way, shape, or form and say that you guys are wrong in your beliefs just proves that this is what these people are actually trying to do.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that they ever expected to have to confront other people in the community that were against it. I don't think they saw it coming.
No, because it's always been love. And it's always been acceptance.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think we really threw them off guard, and they've been trying to figure out how to deal with us ever since. It's kind of a double-edged sword for them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's sad that we even have to exist. Back when we were fighting for equality and even before us, like our gay and lesbian elders, that were just trying to like live their lives, be able to love who they love and live a normal life like every other American. We could have never predicted this coming, and I have a lot of resentment towards the people in our community that are pushing this. As well, because they're kind of like proving the slippery slope to be correct.
That's right.
Exactly right.
Which is so upsetting and disappointing and honestly devastating because, I remember sharing a meme back in like 2014 or something that said the gay agenda was like literally just to like watch movies at night and like go buy groceries. And that's what I thought it was. Like that was my agenda, and so it has been totally co-opted and they're proving all of these people that warned, oh, gay marriage, what's next? Pedophilia.
Right.
And
they're
it's like,
them right.
Yeah, they are. And we don't, that's why I say we really represent the majority of the gay community. And I believe even trans people. I really do believe that.
No, I think you're right.
Where we really just want to live our lives, but they are used. I always say, I try and emphasize so much, we are being used as a shield and they're throwing us under the bus because it is hurting us. It is hurting us and it is hurting the children. And, we're less important than the kids, but like we got skin in this game too.
Yeah.